Hello and welcome to Delta Sparks Pod, episode 13. Andie, we're,
Hi,
teena-
Ev.
we're teenagers.
Sweet.
For those
Oh,
of
because we're in
you,
the 13s. I get
we're
it.
in the 13.
I was
You
like, no,
know,
we're old, Ev. What are you talking about?
we're old. For those of you who do not know us, who have been living under a rock, and this is your first experience with having us inside your ears, I am Evan. This is Andouille Sausage Cakes Pop 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 Supreme.
Or Andie.
Or Dewey. Dewey Pop Pop. I think we should make a shirt that says Dewey Pop Pop.
Killing me.
Andie, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Today's a lot better than yesterday. I ripped my pants yesterday. That was not great. Not my finest moment. And I know that's something that happens for like it happens to everybody. It happens to all tradespeople.
Let me ask you something. Did you rip it on something, or did you like squat down and just?
Oh no, I squatted down and it was like a rip from like tip to tail, pretty much.
From hole to hole, from sea to shining sea.
So I ended up doing like a cute little duct tape sandwich.
Okay.
Duct tape seamstress, yeah. And so ended up having a nice little wax job on my inner thigh, which was
So
really fun and
one of two things your coworkers are thinking, right? A, Andie took her pants off on the assembly line and is duct taping them. Andie, put your pants back on.
Or Andie, take your pants off. Thank you.
Or two, this is my more favorite, Andie walking into the bathroom with a roll of duct tape in her hand. Oh God, what the fuck is she doing? What are you, waxing yourself at lunch?
It wasn't at lunch.
I know, I'm just saying.
No, and that was the option that I did choose. I was standing like in socks and work boots in the bathroom with my pants in my hands.
Wait, why did you put your work boots back on?
Because the floor is gross. Come on, it's a bathroom. It's a
woman's room.
Bathroom. Oh, women are gross too.
It's a work bathroom. B, how many women use that bathroom? Because we've talked before, the majority of the staff, unless is it a unisex bathroom?
No, it's not a unisex bathroom. It's a woman's washroom, but we also do have like there's a small washroom upstairs for the office gals, and they'll come down sometimes like if they have to like
take a shit.
Yeah.
Which
is really great.
Like, hey, I'm just gonna go downstairs and use the bathroom a little bit because I'm a dumpster fire.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm like, great. So luckily I was by myself. Like nobody was like subjected to like hearing like I can't do the tape noise, but thank you. Yes, nobody was subjected. Oh, actually I can do it here. This noise.
That noise to me just sounds like a good time.
And then this noise. Like nobody had to hear that. But from a bathroom, would you suspect it was a good time from a bathroom? Is the real question.
I don't know. It could be someone being taken hostage. Could be a hostage freeing themselves. It could be waxing. It could be. Ooh, I could go down the rabbit hole right now.
Those don't really sound like good options to me. Like those don't sound like a good time.
It could have been someone in the stall who's constipated, who was making a duct tape wallet while waiting for their kids to drop in the pool.
Okay, fair. That one is a good time.
You know, just saying, let your imagination run wild.
Oh, I always do, especially when I'm in the bathroom. So, Ev, how was your day?
I almost ripped my anus.
Okay, will duct tape help?
No, I don't mean like the pants. I mean the actual hole.
Oh no! I stand by my question of will duct tape help?
No. So you know what CAD welding is, right?
I do. But let's explain it.
So for the people who do not know what CAD welding is, in electrical work, there's this thing called grounding. So any stray voltage, stray electricity goes to the ground wire, which goes back to the ground bar, to a ground wire, to a ground rod.
Basically making sure it's safe.
Yes.
If something were to happen, if there was like a surge of this extra electricity, it makes it safe for everybody.
Yes, or if a wire comes loose and hits the metal box or yada yada yada, instead of it just lighting up the box and making it electrified, electricityfied, it sends that excess voltage or that power back to the panel, lets the panel know we got a fucking problem. Turns the Why do all the cops in my head sound like they're European?
Oh, mine sounds like Minions, so.
And turn it off. So CAD welding is when you have multiple ground wires for a pad, for like a generator or transformers, and basically instead of crimping them together or bolting them together, it is this little device that you put all the wires in at the different junction points. Basically, if you want to make a T or an X, or a lowercase t, or a lowercase x, and it basically uses gunpowder, for lack of a better term, and welds them together. You either click a button and hook up electrodes, and click a button and it goes, or somebody has to go over there with a torch and stick their hand out and go. The thing is CAD welds, although you'd think, oh, it's a weld, like it's rounded off and it's nice and smooth. Not the fucking case. So I'm under girders, sitting on gravel. We're trying to shove 20 4-inch PVC pipes that are all strapped together to unistrut and on wood this way because the girders weren't properly, fabricated, and the holes don't line up, so our pipes are now coming, some of our pipes are coming up into the bottom of a piece of metal. So I'm sitting on the ground with a rope wrapped around something, trying to pull it while I'm pushing my feet. I'm basically doing this. I'm basically like and with a few guys pushing on the end of the pipe. And the problem is when you pull the wire and you push your legs, sometimes when you pull that rope, it pulls you. Okay, because I had other guys pushing it, so I'm pulling the rope, and it went, and I went, and I'm sitting on gravel. What I didn't realize is right under my butthole was a CAD weld that was just poking up with a very sharp end. Okay, a little hangnail, if you will. And I swear to God, just to the right of my butthole, I've got like a 3-inch cut. I was bleeding into my pants like I was incontinent. So that's how my day went. That, and I started sweating at 6 a.m.
I have to say, I'm really glad that we waited to start recording for you to tell me that.
I'm glad I was the first person you told me when you started bleeding. Pop, pop, pop.
Oh, that made my stomach hurt.
Apparently something I'm going to have to add to my tool bag is maxi pads when I'm bleeding from the anus. So, speaking of maxi pads and bleeding, we thought we'd take this episode a little bit like more on the fun side. The last episode me and Andie did, just the two of us, we got kind of heavy.
Yeah, we got a little deep on that one.
We got real fucking deep. So today I think we're going to keep it on kind of more of a just the tip situation.
Me howling and crying, laughing. So
yeah, not finger in the butthole, but just around, just some pressure.
Maybe just hang out with Evan's cut.
It's just letting you've got a friend there in case you need it. Okay, you don't have to go inside, but it's nice to know that you're waiting.
The option's there. The option
is there.
Mm-hmm.
So we reached out to a few peeps, and they gave us some interesting topics. None of which we're going to use. No,
no, actually, this was my idea.
Hey guys, thanks for all your helpful feedback. Now,
we love you so much.
Fuck yourselves.
Please still like us.
Go fuck yourselves, San Diego.
Put that on the teleprompter.
But with Andie's impending traveling for work,
yay! Hopefully,
hopefully, we thought we would talk a little bit about work travels. And I don't mean just like getting in your car and doing the commute to work, right? Because
So far, that's all I've done. So
Yes.
don't pigeonhole us too much because that's all I can picture.
Right. I, on the other hand, so when we're talking about traveling for work, we're talking about long distance travel. I mean, define long distance. I mean, Andie apparently thinks she lives 2 days from the ocean. It's more like 12 hours.
I do.
I don't know
I'm
what
not
you would.
traveling to the ocean, so we're okay.
I guess when I think of traveling for work, I'm thinking of working in a different state, typically having to stay over, or in some cases, traveling to a different country. I have both worked with a lot of out of state and out of country traveling tradespeople, and I also have been an out of state tradesperson where I traveled for work for a period of time, doing different things. Actually, 2 different companies I worked for, I did traveling work for.
Okay. Have you ever been out of country?
No, I've actually never been out of country. I've been to Canada twice.
Yay.
Before I was ever, how do I put it? Detained by people wearing uniforms.
Was it Mounties?
No. I wish.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a much cooler story.
Yeah. It's a lot more. I feel like it would be more gentle to get anally probed by a Mountie.
No, they usually bring in the moose for that. I've heard.
Here comes Big Bob.
Why are there so many antlers?
You just see huge antlers in here.
Front row.
Front row. Andie's just there with popcorn. Ooh, yes.
I said rut row, not front row, you sicko.
Reaches for the maple syrup on the popcorn.
Offer it to you.
It's sticky and it's salty. It's my favorite snack. No, I haven't traveled outside the country for work. Like I said, I've been to Canada twice, once in high school, once much younger, before you needed a passport to get into the country. I've been to, I think I was in Jamaica once.
You don't remember? It was that good of a time, eh? Oh, God.
I was on a cruise. I remember we docked somewhere. I think we docked in Jamaica, but I remember getting off the boat. I do not remember getting back on the boat.
Oof.
And it was like a day or 2 later.
And you were like young too?
I was like 17. Yeah. I mean, define young.
I wish I knew 17-year-old Evan. You'd have been
no, you don't. No, you don't. I was, what's the word? I was a douchebag.
I don't know if we would have been friends at 17.
See, I wasn't, I don't want to say I was a douchebag. I wasn't a douchebag. I was a little into myself, as all 17-year-olds are, right? Like, you know, trying to keep up with the Jeffersons. I had a wicked Jufro.
Do you mean the Jetsons?
No, not the Jetsons.
Oh,
Keeping up with the Jeffersons? You never...
I've heard Joneses, never Jeffersons.
Because we're moving on up to the east side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky. Andie, get some culture. I wore skinny jeans before they made skinny jeans for men.
You were one of those.
Yes, I was in rock bands and I wore girls' jeans and shirts 3 sizes too small. So if I even raised my shoulders, you saw my belly button and my luscious man pube forest traveling down the secret trail to the secret. No, I wore, like, you know, I mean, listen, I was lost and trying to find an identity.
Oh.
So I did that for a while. I tried to do like the whole, like, I don't want to say Abercrombie, but like I cut my hair. I had like a preppy faux hawk. I wore sweaters.
I'm gonna need pictures of that.
I don't even know if there are. I had an eyebrow ring at some point during high school.
Fun fact: when I was in high school, I had the other side of my nose pierced.
So you had both? People could just grab you by your nose, both sides.
No.
Get over here.
This one I had done 6 or 7 years ago. So like first year university maybe. And this one I had in high school and I let it fill in.
Yeah, I don't remember what the hell we were talking. Yeah, no, I was the Lothario in my own way, in my own. So, okay, fun fact. Secret time.
I love secret time.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the name of this store. I don't know if they had them in Canada. They're called Delia's.
No.
So Delia's was like a store that had, it was for girls from like 14, 15 to like early mid 20s, right? It had all those t-shirts with like the fun prints.
Is it like
and,
Ardene's?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, I'm going to assume it's like an Ardene's for us in Canada. Please continue.
But basically, it had like, it wasn't like slutty clothes. It was like, I'm trendy, but also maybe we'll give you a blowjob. So they had like, you know, shirts, and they had this whole wall of jeans, it was my senior year of high school. I skipped school with a friend and his girlfriend because I just gotten broken up with. We got wicked high at the food court, and then I destroyed some, like 2 orders of Nathan's French fries. I don't know if you know what Nathan's are, but they're like these crinkle cut fries. They will fuck you up. And so like I'm walking around the mall. I've got a hoodie on with like aviators on because I'm like my eyes are this color, and my friend's girlfriend wants to go in Delia's. Now Delia's is like the store is like the guys would like hang out outside. Like we didn't go in. But it was like the middle of the afternoon on like a Tuesday. And we were like, fuck it, there's no one here. And we went in and like, you know, blah, 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 blah. And my friend's girlfriend at the time knew that I was looking for a job.
Okay.
And she says out loud while we're standing at the counter while she's paying, Evan, you should apply here. And the girl behind the counter just happened to be one of the managers. And she's like, oh yeah, you should totally apply. Hands me an application. I fill it out. I give it back to her. We leave. We go to Spencer's. I'm hoping you know what Spencer's.
Yeah, that one I know.
You know, the store with all like the weed paraphernalia and the dildos.
Yeah.
I get a call while we're in Spencer's, and they're like, she's like, "Hi, it's Megan from Delia's. Just wanted to let you know that I talked to the managers, and we totally want you to work here."
It was a little scary, your Valley Girl voice.
Oh my God.
God, Becky, look at her butt.
Look at her butt. Yeah, so I worked at a girls' clothing store. I did 2 things. I stood at the front of the store when people walked in and welcomed them.
You were a Walmart greeter. Got it.
I was like the Hollister greeter, just I had a shirt on.
Okay.
But my pants were tighter than theirs, so you could definitely see the outline of my penis. I was like a neon sign for unprotected sex.
Yikes.
And then my other job was, because they wouldn't let me near the dressing rooms.
Shocking.
Was I stood by the wall of jeans, the jean wall.
Because you were like wearing half of them.
Yes, actually I was.
Yeah.
I had to take a test to stand at that wall.
To know your different washes and cuts and...
Mm-hmm. And do you know what I got after I took that test? I was a
jeans.
Certified genius.
Stop it!
I had a certificate and everything. And so basically my job is like, girls would be like, what do you think of these? And I'd be like,
Let me check out your ass, ma'am.
They'd make your ass look wonderful. And then when they'd come back and be like, hey, you know, it's buy one, get one half off. Safe to say. And
then you start taking your pants off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just halfway.
Yeah, just halfway. Just the upper half. That's the weird way to do it.
Yeah. I don't even know where we went with this. But yeah, I've been outside the country, I think 2 or 3 times, but never for work.
Okay. Got it.
Steer the carriage back around.
Shocking. We got off course. Oh, I'm going to hear about this one from Kim.
All right. So traveling for work.
So my trip that's hopefully coming up will be out of country, and it'll be the first time that I've traveled more than an hour and a half, I guess, for work. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I don't want to give any details yet because I'm not 100% sure where, when, if it'll actually happen with our COVID stuff. Like,
I could just imagine you standing at the front door waiting for your ride to take you to the airport. You're like, I got my lunch packed up, my boots tight. I hope I don't get in a fight.
Back to school.
Back to But where are you potentially going?
I'm potentially going to Arizona.
Ooh, land of a million white people.
I will fit right in.
Yes. It is hot there, but it's a dry heat.
I see. You know what's funny? I don't even know what that means.
A dry heat?
Like, I understand, like, it means that there's, like, no moisture in the air. It's not muggy, but, like, to know, like, what that feels like, I have no concept.
So I'm good with heat. It's humidity that really fucks me up. Like, it could
your
be
hair?
No, because of my butthole. It could be like 100 degrees with no humidity, and it's hot, but it's not like sweltering.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't feel uncomfortable.
I am going to go out on a limb and say that I'm going to feel uncomfortable in any kind of heat while I'm working.
Well, you'll probably be working inside. You're doing like animatronics and stuff like that.
It's an install. So
yeah, I mean,
who knows?
But I have traveled both by vehicle and by plane for work numerous times. When I was flying, I was doing video wall installs.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think my favorite one of those. Well, there was yes and no. It was cool. But there was like where I'd go someplace for 3 or 4 days, and then there was where I traveled to 3 or 4 cities in 3 or 4 days by plane. That got very annoying.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like flying, not because I'm nervous. Like, if I'm gonna die, I'd rather be in a plane crash because, like, yeah, it's scary for like 35 seconds, but then like, boom.
Yeah.
But I'm 6'4". And unless somebody wants to pay for a first class seat so I can have a little extra leg room, it's basically chin to knees.
Like a tricycle.
Yes, like a tricycle.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm just wide. But
you're not
I have the opposite issue.
One is long and skinny, one is less long and less skinny.
I'm that one. In case anybody had no clue.
Yeah. It's been interesting though, because when I've flown for like jumping around, I have to keep all my tools on my carry-on.
Right. Which I don't know.
It can be tricky.
Now. Yeah.
It can be tricky. I mean, this is all after.
I was gonna ask you what tools you were able to bring, because
different airports allowed different things, even though it was all the TSA.
Well, and like, you don't want to risk it putting them in your checked baggage, but you don't want to.
Well, I didn't have a checked bag when I was hopping 3 or 4 cities in 3 or 4 days. You know,
same pair of underwear, flip them inside out.
No, yeah, I mean 2 pair for 4 days. You know,
you're disgusting. Yeah, is what I'm hearing.
Well, when it's a dry heat, you actually don't need underwear.
Yeah. Well, what happens when you sit on a MIG weld then?
A MIG weld? Honestly, I'd prefer not to be wearing underwear then, so I don't stain them with blood.
Ah, fair, true.
And you know what? No underwear, no skid marks. That's what I always say.
Yeah. That seems fair and disgusting.
But it depended. Like some places, like the first 3 stops I did on a 4-stop tour, no issues. Yeah. The last one made me throw out a flathead.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. But on the other hand, when you're flying and you're checking tools, like I've brought not my whole pack out, but the bottom part of my pack out fully loaded. My bottom. This is my bottom. It is very full.
So you would have locked it and stuff then?
I had a padlock on it. Yeah. But there's been instances where, well, what happens if it gets lost? What happens if
that's what I was going to say. Like, you still want to risk it, right?
Yeah. And then
what if it's delayed?
Well,
job gets delayed, right?
That happened once.
Oh God, tell me.
So, but on the other hand, if you're driving, you'll have all your stuff with you, and that, but you're driving,
right?
Like, I traveled up and down the East Coast doing cell sites.
Yeah.
And typically when you're traveling for work,
Now, what do you mean by cell site?
So there's a cell tower, right, that has the antennas on it to bring you all coronavirus. Just kidding.
So
5G.
like cell phone towers.
Yeah, like
towers. Okay.
Cell phone tires.
Okay.
Verizon,
You've heard of them.
AT&T,
Yeah.
But next to that tower is always a little shelter, right? It looks like a little hut. And inside of that has all of the computers and components and stuff that's needed to send power up to the antenna, and B, give it the signal to broadcast or to put out there into the world. Most of the time, towers and structures come fully, not the towers don't come fully assembled, but the structures do, and they're just craned off of a flatbed into place, and then all you had to do was hook up the main power, like the feeders. But where they couldn't get a crane, because it's like up a mountain, rural areas that don't have it, which was a lot of what we did, almost only what we did. You'd have to basically 4 to 6 days of 14 to 16-hour days of piping, pulling wire, terminations,
AC. Make the building work, right?
It was AC, it was DC, grounding, halos, cable tray, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So
you basically do everything in the building.
Yeah, I mean the building being like smaller, like just about the size of a jail cell.
Right, like the hut to make this tower work.
Sometimes there was a generator room attached, and that was an extra day sometimes. But for those, I mean, I was in West Virginia a lot, North Carolina, Vermont, like the more rural, like I was always up on a fucking mountain.
I always say that. Now, rural. Rural. Am I saying it right? Rural. Anyways, did you, so I guess you would have had travel like solo and travel in teams/groups?
So when we were doing the cell sites, it was always at least 2 of us.
Well, yeah. I guess
sometimes
have to be
3,
2, right? To make sure if somebody got hurt, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, not even they didn't care about that, just so they could, because they got paid for the job, they didn't get paid for the hours.
Right, of course.
So, we 2 of us would typically go. Sometimes one of the owners of the company would come along with us because like his wife kicked him out or something, and he needed a place to go hide out.
Yep.
When I was flying or doing the video wall install, it was typically 2 or 3 of us. Sometimes it was just me if I was just going out to do like swapping out a panel, like one of the little LED panels, or like having to fit, just clean stuff up.
Right.
But typically you were traveling not by yourself.
Right.
And more times than not, unless you're just going there to do programming, I find that when workers or tradespeople that are from out of state or out of country show up to a job to build or erect something or to do something, it's more than just one of them.
Right.
So that way, it's more cost benefit analysis, smart word stuff. But
return on investment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, capital gains and revenue, profit streams, and
money,
Ponzi.
Piggy bank.
But yeah, I mean, it got old fast. Because when I was doing cell sites, I was constantly traveling.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was supposed to be like do a travel job, then you're working at home, not at home, but like local jobs for like a few weeks. But there was times where I did 2 or 3 back to back to back.
Because you could?
No, not because I could. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do that shit.
Oh, they just needed somebody to go and do that.
And me and the other guy were the only 2 guys who knew like how it needed to be done and yada yada yada.
Right.
And the last ones I did, they were back to back, and then I left the company. I just had enough. I was living in Massachusetts at the time, and that's where the company was based out of. And we had a job that was 6.5 hours north of us, like northern Vermont.
Oh wow! Yeah. Almost Canada. And that was the week before, like a week and a half before Christmas. What year would this have been?
2015? Yeah, 2015.
So we could have been very close to each other at that point of.
Oh, yeah? Were you in Vermont?
No, I would have been in Montreal then.
Montreal.
Was I in Montreal then? No, I definitely wasn't. I'm a liar. Please,
We know.
continue.
We know. That was a smaller job. That is the job, though, where I made my boss drop his brand new cell phone in the porta potty. That tell that story?
You did.
Okay.
With the stone, right? Or
Yeah,
the rock.
I threw the rock, which lobbed it 100 yards.
Yeah, you did. You said that on the live.
Yep.
On the live. Because your dad gave you feedback.
Yeah. And
Mr.
then
Evan.
So
Mr. Evan's dad.
Mr. Evan's dad. Mr. John. Or as he so loves to be called, doesn't love it. Somebody called him this once when I was having a party in his backyard at 3 a.m. And he was like, "Yo, Papa Dukes," and he was like, "What the fuck do you call me? Get the fuck out of my house."
Gotta go.
Skidadoo. But yeah, so that was like a 4 or 5 day job. We got up there on Sunday night. We worked straight through until Friday, late afternoon, early evening. I should preface this. The guy who I work with, not the owner, the guy I was working with, he had a DUI, so he couldn't drive.
Right.
So I did all the driving.
And were you in recovery at this point?
Yes. This was right before I relapsed after having 8 years.
Oh, wow.
So he was constantly smoking weed in the truck, in the little shelter, everywhere. And the owner, when he would come out, was constantly drunk. He would get drunk at the hotel because we would stay at like Marriott, like the Courtyard by Marriott, and there was a little gas fire pit out back. And he was always like getting hammered while I was trying to sit there and just relax and like asking me if he's an alcoholic. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Goodbye. If we have time, remind me. I have a really funny story involving him shitting in a parking lot outside of a strip club in Albany, New York, and then getting into a fist fight while driving him back to the hotel with the guy who gave us the contract who was sitting behind him.
I think we've all been there, Evan.
Yes. So we worked Monday through Thursday, 16-hour days. Friday, we worked until about 5, drove the 6.5, 7 hours back to where we were located. I got home probably about, I don't know, close to 10 or 11 o'clock at night, fell asleep, woke up, drove back to the shop, picked up the truck, picked up my coworker, and drove straight from Massachusetts, like central Massachusetts, down to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Who are classically not good at geography.
So Massachusetts is here.
Okay. Where am I?
You're here.
I'm off the screen. Help me.
You're off the screen.
No, come down.
Okay. So okay, here, ready? AC Sparky is you.
Oh,
okay.
That's Brad.
Massachusetts is this gray area here. Okay?
Yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina is well below. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I need the visual.
So where I lived in Massachusetts to where my parents lived in New Jersey was a 4-hour drive.
Okay. From
New Jersey to Charlotte, northern New Jersey to Charlotte is about a 14-hour drive. 13, 14.
That's a long day.
Yeah. So I drove from Massachusetts, so pretty much like 16 to 17-hour drive from Massachusetts to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Better hope you like your co-pilot.
Nope. Because he was either getting high or asleep. Worked. So we got down there late Saturday night. So worked Sunday. Now we're getting into the week. This is the week of Christmas. Christmas was on a Friday, I think.
Okay.
So worked Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay. yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It was a smaller job. My boss showed up on Tuesday morning because I guess he got kicked out again. I told him I was leaving Tuesday, like late afternoon. Okay, like I was leaving by 5 o'clock at the latest.
Yeah.
And either my coworker was going to drive back with me, or he was going to drive back with the boss because the boss was going to finish up the job. Mm-hmm. Okay, like the last day or two.
Yeah.
I got roped into staying until 8 p.m., almost 9 p.m., so we could finish the job, all of us, and drive my coworker back. So I drove the 18 hours straight through the middle of the night after working from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m.
How did you do that?
A lot of coffee, and I was chain smoking cigarettes. Drove from Charlotte back to Fall River, Massachusetts. Dropped off the truck, dropped off the guy, went home, slept for 4 hours, waited for my now ex-fiance to get home from work, and then drove straight back to New Jersey for Christmas.
Wow.
That is what put me over the edge.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So yeah.
I guess for me, I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't had any real experience. Like I've driven like commuting, coming home every night. So I've never had a job where I've had to work like away from home, like sleeping away from home for it. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's actually one of the reasons that I took this job. Like left my older company because I did want to travel more and I wanted to travel for work. So I was pretty excited about that. But I totally see how
it can be horrible and it can be so much fun. Like the job I did where I did the video walls. We did one at NASA in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Okay. I was on NASA's property for 2 days. I got to drive around. I saw a SpaceX rocket take off. We finished a day early. So it was me, a coworker, and the owner of the company. So we finished a day early. So it was actually cheaper to, instead of flying home early, to take us to Epcot for the day.
Oh, wow. That's really neat. Yeah.
Which I made the mistake because I knew the guy through like family and friends, the owner.
Yeah.
And his wife knew like my folks. So she, I guess, like followed me on Instagram, my personal account. And I posted a picture like that morning, like of us pulling into Epcot Center. And that's safe to say I didn't work at that company for much longer after that.
Well, okay, let's hope for the good experience for me if I get to go.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what do you think? Should we segue into just the tip?
Segui? Yeah, Segui.
Yeah. You go ahead. Or do you want me to go first?
You go first. Or should we rock, paper, scissors?
No, I'm good to go if you want me to. I got one.
I have no clue what I'm going to say, so sure.
All right. So I'm going to talk about hydration today. So how you're talking about sweating your bag off.
Ball sack.
I just want to talk about make sure you're drinking water all day, every day. I recently have started Weight Watchers, which is really fun. And one of the big things that they push is drinking lots of water instead of your juices, pop, coffee, all that fun stuff.
Pop? What the fuck is
soda?
Pop?
Your soda.
What are you, the OK Sparky over there? Pop.
Basically. We're basically the same person. We got married on the same day.
Same day, same year?
Yeah.
Does Adam know this?
Yes.
So I thought you were married to Adam.
Not to each other, numbnuts.
No. My brother dated a girl for 3 years. They were born on the same. They would have the same birthday. Like they were born the same day.
Oh,
she was technically
together.
No. She was technically older by a few hours because he was born in New Jersey and she was born in London.
London town.
You sound like you're from London.
So just the tip is to just remember to keep hydrating, especially as it's getting warmer now. I bring 2 of these Gatorade bottles every day. I'm a water snob, so I find if I don't like the taste of the water, I don't drink water.
I like how you're drinking water out of a Gatorade water bottle.
Water sucks. Gatorade is better.
Water sucks. It really sucks.
So yeah, that's mine for today.
What's my just the tip? Should I do something helpful?
Sure. That'll be a nice change for you.
What do you mean? I'm always
I know, I was kidding.
always gonna be helpful. All right. So I guess to keep with the stay healthy, stay happy while working bullshit that Andie started. I'm gonna go ahead and say keep an extra pair of socks and underwear in your car at all times.
Especially if you work in an office.
Yes. But even more so if you work on a job site. Sometimes you step in a puddle and your foot's wet all day. Sometimes you bleed from the anus and you need another pair of underpants.
Or a sock.
Or a sock. Just roll it up real tight, take some duct tape, flatten that bitch out, and cram it up the old pooper. Yeah, but always keep extra like socks and underwear. Especially in the summer, I always stock up on like the neon work shirts for summer. What?
I'm gonna jump in here, Ev, and just say keep a full set of clothes, because if I had done that when I ripped my pants yesterday, I'd have been good to go.
You could have ripped the other pair too.
I could have ripped the other pair too, or I could have been avoiding
put one over on the other. You could have wear 2 pairs of pants.
I could have avoided having a duct tape diaper.
Yeah. So. But yeah, no, I keep, so typically in the summer, because, you know, for some reason, whenever it's summer, I'm working in an unventilated, hot as balls building. And in the winter, I'm working outside. Can't make it up.
Yeah.
But I always keep
and usually when it's raining, you're on a roof, right? That's what Sullivan was telling me.
Yep. I'm like the postal service. Whether rain nor sleet nor snow nor shine, I be fucked. But no, definitely keep an extra work shirt or 2 or 3 in your vehicle. Typically during the summer, I don't handle the heat well, so I'll change my shirt at lunch, and then I'll have a shirt to drive home in. Yeah. That doesn't have to be a neon one, but it typically is.
I've been known to drive home in my sports bra because my shirts are so gross after work.
Me too.
In my sports bra? That's weird.
Yes. So, Andie, do we have a new name for our next segment?
I don't think so. Not yet. No? I did have some good ones, but I haven't run them by you, so I'm not going to just throw them at you right now. So maybe for our next episode.
Maybe for our next episode, we'll induct the new name. So we're just going to call this the Adderall round.
Love it.
I kind of like it though, the Adderall round.
Are you going to win your own prize, Evan? That's not cool.
Maybe.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe go fuck yourself.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, go first. I've got 5. 1, 2, 3. I got 4.
I have 4 too.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah,
Typically we go with 3. Okay, you go first.
Typically
Let's make the Adderall round Adderall-ish. Okay.
Okay.
Put some pep in it.
Okay, Ev. What's your worst date you've ever been on?
Oh God.
Speaking of Adderall.
I honestly don't know.
What? There's been so many bad ones?
No, I've never been on a bad date.
Oh, I have.
I mean, I've never been on a bad date because I typically don't go on a date unless I actually like someone.
Fair.
Otherwise, it's just like, hey, you want to come over and watch Netflix and eat some spaghetti off my penis? Just kidding.
You said bad dates. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't really think I've had bad dates. I mean, I've had some uncomfortable moments, but typically when I've gone out with somebody, I don't know. I've never had a bad date. I apologize. I could make something up. So yeah, sorry. How about you? I'm sure you've had some fun days.
So before I met my husband, I was doing online dating for a bit, and that was an experience. I met some real fucking winners. There was one guy that I thought was stalking me afterwards, which was really fun. So the date was horribly awkward and was very, very uncomfortable. One of those ones where
nice skin.
Checked.
So supple. And
the worst part about it, he sat there and told me what he expected of me as his girlfriend. And I was like,
ooh, can I hear the list?
No, I don't remember it, but I remember it being like the feminist in me was like, you're messed up. I need to get out of this vehicle. Like it was like that kind of situation. Yeah. So yeah, that was my worst date.
I mean, I think there was one time where like I went out with a girl who I didn't know too well. It was first date, and she said something like really cunty, and I just like got up and left. Like I didn't even say anything.
All right, hit me.
All right, why are manholes round?
Because then they can be put back in any way, shape, or form. They don't have to be like you don't have to line them up. You don't have to line up the lines.
Okay, I like that.
Is that I also would have.
I have no clue. I also would have accepted because men's buttholes are round.
Manhole, I gotcha.
Manhole.
Sorry, I went very literal with that one.
I'm gonna start to call a band called Manholes.
Can I be part of it? I can't be musical, but I can be your. Okay. Yeah. Have you ever had an imaginary friend?
Have I ever had or have?
Like,
because sometimes, some days I'm like, how did anyone marry me? Must be making it up. I don't think so. I mean, I saw shit while on drugs plenty of times.
Yeah.
And sometimes coming off drugs, but I don't think I had an imaginary friend. No.
I never had one. My brother did, and he would see him in the mirror, and his name was Mirror.
My brother, was born cross-eyed and had his eyes uncrossed when he was 3, so he was a little bit developmentally delayed his earlier years. And one night, he was watching wrestling on TV, and he comes running into the other room where like me and my dad are, and he goes, guys, the wrestler on TV just talked to me. He said, "Watch out, Matthew, I'm coming for you."
Oh no.
Yeah. What's the worst way to die?
Burning.
I'd say drowning.
No, see, because drowning, apparently you lose consciousness and then you slip away.
No, I think that's hypothermia.
I think that is also the same, but less wet.
Or like, I think drowning is worse because I think you have to, you get to the point where you're no longer like able to make the choice of like taking a breath. Your body just like forces you to.
Yeah, but if you burn to death, you can smell yourself burning.
Typically, if you burn to death, though, the carbon monoxide has already knocked you out. Fact.
Oh, see, I'm picturing like Salem witch trials, burning witch. Sorry, they didn't actually. I don't think burn anybody in the Salem witch trials, but like burnt at on a pyre is what I was picturing.
Actually, they tied a huge boulder to them and threw them in the lake.
One of many seriously shitty things they did. Okay.
Okay.
Who's your favorite Disney princess? And why?
Do I know any Disney princesses?
Oh, come on.
I don't think I know the girl from Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo?
Lilo.
All right. I'll give it to you. I pick Stitch. Continue.
Okay. What will be your last words?
Oh shit.
Mine will be who farted.
Okay. What's your last Google search?
I don't know. Let's look. Super weird questions to ask in an interview.
Oh, that was mine too. I was hoping it might get weird for you.
No, I don't have to search the weird shit. I know where the weird shit is. All right, last question. If you could have a song play every time you enter a room, what song would it be?
Oh, I do like Electric Love.
Okay.
I like that song. I'm gonna go with that. Actually, true story. That is the theme song of my D&D character.
Electric Love. Let's listen to it. Electric Love by Borns.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the song.
Yeah.
All right. So mine would be Pony by Genuine.
Oh, I know this song. remember when we were like messing around and you played that little clip that we posted and you're like, I bet you get good in turn to this song?
Yeah.
This is another one.
Funny story, if I drink enough soda, I can burp this in case.
No, don't ruin this song for me.
Oh, ready?
No, please don't. La 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 la.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're disgusting, and I'm glad you're
I almost threw up a little. All right, folks. Thank you for hanging out with me and Dewey Pop Pop. I don't even want to tell anyone what.
I didn't say it at the beginning, so.
I did. I don't want to.
Yeah, but I was told I say it better, so continue.
I want people to be excited for the next episode.
Ooh, me too.
But I'm not going to tell you anyone who it is. And even after we record it in 2 days, I think I'm gonna post a teaser clip, but we're gonna blur them out and change their voice.
Great idea. She's gonna hate that.
Yeah, Kim. Kim's gonna hate that.
Oh no, I just said she.
Oh,
proverbial what about, she.
It could be a they.
It could. It probably should be.
Could be an it.
Maybe.
Depending on time of day, location, and circumstances. So stay tuned. Circumcisions. So stay tuned. Next week we have an epic guest. Thank you for spending some time with me and Dewey Pop Pop here on Delta Sparks Pod. And as always, remember, be yourself. Be yourself.